Hey folks, Nick Carrington here. I am back on Lake Sharpe here in Pierce, South Dakota. Today is September 1, 2025, and to me, that is the official start of fall. We've got deer season open, we've got dove season open, fall fishing. If it's not here, it's really close. And what I want to do today is take advantage of this opportunity, not to talk about the bite I'm fishing, the bite that has been taking place. I want to talk about the bite that will take place and make sure you guys are geared up to have a ton of fun here on Lake Sharpe this fall, because I do think this is going to be a really awesome fall here on Sharpe. So today is all about that. It's going to be showcasing exactly what you need to know to take advantage of this bite for the next 2 months, because this bite will continue all through September, pretty much through October. Sometimes even as if the weather cooperates, you can fish this bite through November too. So that's what I want to do today, is just show you guys what you need to do to have an awesome fall here on Sharpe. We're going to get really into the weeds on how I'm fishing it, where I'm fishing. I want you guys to have an awesome fall, so that's what this is all about. But first off, before we get too into this, I just want to say thank you for all the support these last several months. My YouTube has grown in a big way. Hopefully I've got some enhanced features for editing this video. I've been working real hard at getting better at that for y'all. The only drawback is I don't have my dad today, so he was a big favorite from what we had up in Canada. So that was fun to make those videos up at Eagle Lake. If you haven't seen them, check them out. But yeah, what I want to do, we're back here to your regular programming, your regular boring host. I don't have anything good for lunch. I think I have some beef jerky in there and maybe some goldfish, but that's about it. So let's talk fall fishing on Sharpe. Let's talk everything that you need to know and hopefully gear you guys up for a really awesome 2 months here. Okay, so first and foremost, what I want to do right now is we are starting right away here this morning. I put the boat in at about 6:30. I ran down here. It takes me about 15-20 minutes to get here. I'll talk more about location in a minute. And I started fishing, so here we sit at about 7:12, and this time is critical for me to note because current is a major dictator here on the upper end of Lake Sharpe. So what I want to talk about right now is the speed that we are going. So right now we do not have any current pumping through the water, so I am going a very traditional bottom bouncing pace. I'm going 1 to 1.3, so we've got just a little bit of trickle current, but not much. And this is really important to note, when it comes to your speed, because that's the most common mistake I see people make. But the other mistake folks make is when it comes to their graphing too. You're gonna have bigger returns here. You're gonna see, your fish are gonna show up bigger, bolder, what you might not see when you go over them here in a little bit this afternoon when we've got current and it's 2 miles an hour that we're going over them. So I got a couple good shots of the graph here. Right here you can see not as big a fish, because as you can tell it's kind of got some light blue to it, but then you've got that orange fish right there, and that's a good one behind it, just tight to the bottom. Probably not going to get it to go without the current, but that's a showcase example that I really wanted to get for you. Again, look at that speed. We're going slower, we're marking better, our bait's presenting differently. How I run my speed, no matter whether there's a lot of current, a little current, I always put my drift sock out the front, and then I use my RPM adjuster out the back. So I've got that drift sock. What it's doing is it's taking good control. It's keeping the bow from moving too much. On a calm day like this, it's not a big factor. It does slow me down a little bit, but especially when I'm by myself, if I get some fish, it just allows me some time to make sure that I don't go in any crazy evasive maneuvers. And then back here on the tiller, I'm fortunate to have this RPM adjuster, so every hit of the button up and down I believe is 5 RPM, so just allows me to really dial my speed in. And then that big tiller handle, I've got that hydraulic steering, so overall it's a really good setup for boat control. But this is the main thing I wanted to focus on right away and make sure I showcase for you. Every day on Lake Sharpe, you're going to go through changes as you progress through the morning to the afternoon. Your speed that you're fishing at is going to change. How that impacts your graphing is going to change. But you can control that by knowing, okay, so with no current or the current I had this morning, I was going 1 to 1.3. You can set your RPMs at the same depth, and then I always use that drift sock. I just want to keep everything consistent because the reservoir is not going to be, so you need to make sure that you are when it comes to your presentation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk location. I am basically going to give you the fall fishing on Lake Sharpe here. Where we are right here, this here, as we zoom in, this is called Stony Point. It literally has a whole bunch of big stones on it. You cannot miss it. It's pretty much where the reservoir starts to bend again, a little bit more towards the east. And then as you can kind of see right in that sun, you can see that highway. You've got Twin Bridge right there. It's sitting right there in the sun. This leads down to the Fort George shoreline. You can see all the way down there. This whole area, I'm kind of playing with the camera here, but this whole area is a large flat. So what I'm doing, I'm fishing just along the bluffs. As you can see, we come out, good reference point here. We might be a little far away, but you might see that old greenhouse. That's really the start of my pass as I come up here. But this whole area, as you come through the chute, and if you're not familiar with Sharpe, make sure you have a good map or go with someone that knows the first time. So you'll come through the chute, and then this whole area is going to be a flat, and you can fish it at a vary between 8 and 10 feet, but that's where we're fishing right now. I stay on this flat. There are some trees up on this side too, especially up near the greenhouse. There's some trees, and then there will be some old deadheads on this side. You're welcome to fish along there too, but for me, when it comes to the fall, I do well from this flat all the way down to the greenhouse, all the way down to Fort George. There is a lot to fish here, as you can tell just through this tour. There's a lot of water here. It's a giant expansive flat, and you can contact fish the entire time. All right, got one right here. Little guy. Oh, he's swimming with it. Let's see what we got here. Swam with it a little bit. Yeah, this is just one of those average Lake Sharpe walleyes. You're going to catch a lot of these, so bring a lot of bait. It's great action fishing. You're going to get a lot of fish. A lot are going to be like this. Look at that. So 15-inch minimum back here, effective September 1. So if you're fishing here in July or August, the 15-inch minimum is back. So, or if you're new to Lake Sharpe, always make sure you're keeping fish right at that above 15 inches. We got one over 20, but you're gonna catch a lot of fish. So I usually bring about 4 dozen crawlers because you will go through that much, especially when the bite is hot. So in terms of presentation, I'm using my JB Designs Depth Stripe Bottom Bouncing Series, and then I've got this Colorado blade on it. So what I like to do, especially right away in the mornings, and we've got some dingy conditions right here because of some rains that we've had. So I've got a pretty bright pink lemonade blade. I use about 3/4 of crawler too. I don't skimp around on the crawlers. That's probably why I go through 4 dozen too. But I like to thread it up there. Make sure you have a real good presentation with your crawler. And then that gets a lot of those short striders too when you thread the crawler. I fish it on a 1.5 ounce bottom bouncer. About a 35-inch lead is how I tie these. I tie all these myself. I got a 5mm or a 5-piece max lure tapered bead. That's kind of what I go to, and then I go with 5mm beads just around it. Quick change clevis, so I can swap blades really quick and easy. But that's pretty much the presentation. Again, a good medium fast bouncer. Rod's going to be great for your bouncer. Again, I love my JB Designs walleye series here. 1.5 ounce bouncers for me when I'm fishing by myself, just because I'm not really going to fish more than 10 feet. I always favor a lighter bouncer if possible, but if I do have multiple people in the boat too, what I'll do is I'll put 3-ounce bouncers out the back here, and that'll be what I fish on these back rods. If I got multiple folks, say I'm fishing 6 rods, I'll do 2-ouncers right here in the middle, and then I'll do 1.5s out the front. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just letting the weight of the bouncer take care of my separation. So my 3s, they fish pretty much right under the boat. 2s, it takes a little bit more line to get them to the bottom, and those 1.5s will be just a little farther. But always, as soon as you get to the bottom, no matter what weight you're using, just click that bail shut. You don't need much line out, and the more vertical you are, the more fish you're going to get, the more bites you're going to get, the less snagged you're going to be, and the more you're going to hook up with. So that's kind of how we rig up here as we're sitting here on Lake Sharpe here in the fall. So when it comes to blade color, I basically think I've got 3 different scenarios. So what we've got right now, we had some really big rains the last couple days, so we've got some pretty dirty water conditions down here. Definitely makes fishing a lot tougher. In this situation, I want to go with those bright, flashy, gaudy colors. So I'm talking pinks, I'm talking oranges, and then you'll also see that I want to take those, I want to start with number 5s in the morning, and then I work my way up towards 3s in the day. Now, in normal conditions, when I've got clear water, that's when I kind of bring both into the equation. So I'll bring in my purples and my blues. So again, I'll start with the big number 5 Colorado blades right away in the morning, and then I work my way up into those number 3s. But this is also when I put my other category in it, and I kind of call it the neutral category, and that's going to be your whites, your golds, your silvers. Right away, I always do well with whites when it comes to fishing gizzard shad presentations, but at the same time, I also do really well with metallic colors, especially as the sun gets higher in the day and the water clears up. So 3 different categories of Colorado blades when it comes to selecting colors and blades here in the fall. Start with big baits right away in the morning. If you got dirty conditions, hit those bright colors. If you got normal conditions, hit those blues, and never be afraid to just go with the old naturals and those whites, silvers, and golds. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I knew the bite was gonna be pretty tough today just with how dirty it is. Finding clear water is so important on the Missouri River, and with some of the rainstorms that we've had here these last couple weeks, it gets pretty dirty down here. That bad river flood, that bad river, all that mud will come down through it, all these other tributaries, it'll get pretty muddy. It was real muddy when I put in today at Polo Fields Dock at Farm Island. So I knew we weren't gonna have a lot of fish catching, and as we're about halfway through this video, we've kind of confirmed that. Truth be told, honestly though, I did lose 5, so I feel really bad about that. I had 2 while I was trying to get the mic on, both rods bent, missed them both. One wasn't big, one was. Then there was another one that I was like doing the graph shot, and I just saw the rod load up, and I was trying to figure out how I could film it and at the same time, and totally lost that one. And then there was another small one I missed, and there was another one that bit that was pretty good too. So working on getting the fish shot. But again, the goal of this video for me was to showcase just how we fish this, really get in depth. You can kind of see I've made a move. I'm now fishing up closer to the greenhouse, and you can see the water is even dirtier here as opposed to where we were down on the flat. So that tells me the flat's going to be a higher percentage area. But the other thing I want to do is I want to talk about current again, because current is so important. If you're not used to fishing the Missouri River, especially Lake Sharpe up here on the upper end, or even the upper end of Lake Francis Case, current is just so critical. So you can even kind of see where I am right now. We're just starting to see some current pick up. So our speed has picked up 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. That speed's picking up even with some wind pushing into me. So it's so important to be mindful of that. Know when it's coming. It is about 8:15 as I did that. I figured the current would start picking up about 8. So filmed down pretty good, pretty proud of myself. But that's one thing. Now I know there's a good chance these fish could turn on here soon too. I'm not in the highest percentage area just because I want to show all these different spots to you, all these different ways to fish. But something to keep in mind every time you're out here, how big a factor current is, and then right in that is going to be watercolor. So you got to know what's going on in the water. If you can figure all that out, you're pretty much, the fish are going to find themselves. There's a lot of fish here, you guys. So if you can get in that clear water and you can get in that area that the current's taking, that you know how to fish it right, you're going to get bites here. Okay, so if you've seen a lot of my videos, if you follow the fishing reports, you've heard me I'll talk about the dunes, I'll talk about fishing. I often say 6 to 10 feet, and you've probably seen, all right, we're fishing a lot of that 9, 10 feet. That's kind of what that flat was. But I've been working real hard to get some good graph shots for you, so let's kind of talk through what we're looking for. I'm gonna overlay some of these shots. When I say the rolly dunes, it's literally looks like it's sand dunes on your graph, really. You can see all those contour changes. The bottom is just up and down, up and down. Couple things when it comes to this area almost always holds fish. This is just always a go-to spot for me for a couple reasons. These areas I have found are always in a main current area, and that's where we are right now, is we're in a main current area. And that's why the current's kind of picked up too. I'm going like 1.5, 1.6. So you can tell we've got a little bit more current pushing through this area. These fish will not have to go far when they're in these spots. So you're gonna see the fish on top. If they are on top of those dunes, those are active. They are going to bite most of the time. That is an area that when these fish are up, they are up for one reason. They are actively searching for food. I feel really good that I can get these fish to bite. The other thing though is a lot of the times you'll see these fish just sitting tight to the bottom, kind of within one of these crevices or maybe like right behind it. And a lot of these times, these are fish that are more neutral. They're sitting out with that current break and that they're out of the current. They're finding slack water based on that contour, based on that dune. These are often some of the nicest fish that'll sit in there. They look really good on your graph. They hold pretty tight. You may or may not get them. But when you're fishing these next to the woods, do not worry about what your graph is saying too terribly much, because you're often going to see, you might not mark the fish that you catch, or you might get a very weak signal than what you'd traditionally see, just because of the nature of the contours that you're fishing. So look for those fish on top, but know that there's often fish sitting within them, and sometimes with how these sit, you might not even mark them. So when I find these areas, these are high percentage areas for me. So it's generally in that 6 to 8 foot. I don't often find it deeper. Most of it's in that 6 to 8 foot. You'll see some contour changes in like that 9, 10 foot. That stuff is good, don't get me wrong. But if you want to talk really high percentage, you're looking 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. Graphing between the shallow water, the nature of the contours. There's so many fish that you A, just aren't hitting in your cone because of how shallow it is, and you might pass over with your rods. But B, even if they're in the cone, even if you go right over them, just based on how that contour sits, you still might not graph them. So trust your area, trust your gut, always give it a pull, because a lot of the times you're gonna find these fish are gonna bite. Okay, so let's just do a quick director's cut here. So right here, right near the end of it, you can see one fish, good classic mark. There's probably 2 more here that are just tight to the bottom, possibly even 3, I'm gonna guess 2. Again, it's kind of tough with this area. And then there's another mark. I didn't get a great look on him, but you think about it, again, we're in 6 feet of water, so our cone is not very big. So I don't get stressed out about that. That's right where I would expect a walleye to be, so I feel pretty good that's the one we're after. Okay, so this is just a director's cut because I feel like I have to at this point. We've got some fog rolling in. It's kind of awesome. I have been just a terrible fisherman this whole video. I don't even know that I've looked at my rods because I had this vision in my head. Most of my videos are like unplanned. I just get out, I start seeing what happens. I never know what's gonna happen. I just try not to swear, essentially. And this one, I actually came with a structure, I actually came with a plan, and I'm actually really challenging the skills that I have for video editing. So I'm anxious to see how this turns out, and I've been working real hard, getting B-roll shots, getting graph shots, getting scenery shots. I really, it looks like fate is smiling on me a little bit, and see, this is now once we got back into goofballery, that's where, oh, no, it was just a weed. Shucks! So, yeah, as you can see, so we're, I don't know, I'm trying real hard just to get a really awesome video for you guys. I hope y'all enjoy it, because we are in a very likely scenario that I may starve due to no fish catching. And I had planned on fish for lunch, so I need to really focus up. We got a lot of weeds going on here. My rod will bend over from weeds. Reason being, it's not that there are weeds here like submerged in the water, but you think about the river system and all the weeds that are in, you know, Laframboise Island, Downs Marina, all those weeds, they die this time of year. They die end of summer. And so what's happening is they're literally just flushing through. So September can be pretty weedy. Your day's gonna vary. We got a southeast wind here, so it's kind of pushing up. So that kind of makes it a little weedier. It makes it a little worse. when you got a calm day or you got a north wind, kind of can blow them out of there. But we just got winds kind of pushing it back up here. Kind of contend with weeds throughout September. Again, you are not fishing within them, but these are literally just the weeds that have died and are on their way downriver and are gonna float all the way down. But that's just something that we're working with here. But that is why it looks like I might have just got done haying, and just something that, like I said, this video is all about getting you prepared for sharp in the fall. So just something to be mindful of and be ready for when you get here. Here's a little behind the scenes and something just so you all are prepared for sharp. Looks like I got one laying on me, right? I think again, it's a weed monster. So just always be checking your baits, because you will get a lot of weeds. You can even see some of that debris floating through the column here. So be mindful, there is a lot of weeds, and again, pretty dirty water today from the storms. All right, so we're rolling in the 9 o'clock here. Yeah, it is 8:57. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I have been a terrible fisherman throughout the entire time for it, but that, like I said, I knew the bite wasn't going to be great, so I really wanted to take this opportunity to really showcase what this bite is. When this water clears up, it's gonna get really good. Like I said, I missed a lot of bites too, and I haven't really been paying attention much. So, but when it comes to fall fishing here, there's a couple different areas to focus. That first area, and this is your highest percentage area, that's going to be that 6 to 8 foot, those 6 to 8 foot kind of dunes, as I call them. Hopefully I got some real good shots to show you exactly what you're looking for on your graph, to know that you're on them, to fishing them right. And then the other one, and this one is, you're going to run into fish, you just kind of got to cover a lot of water in the process, is fishing those large expansive flats here at about 9-10 feet. You can literally start fishing at the greenhouse and you can fish your way all the way down for, shoot, maybe 5 miles really if you wanted to. It's just kind of all the same neck of the woods. It's those big sand flats. You know, you can, they go, depths will vary a little bit, but that 9 to 10 foot one here, especially as we get between Stony Point and Fort George, I mean, that's just such a high percentage spot. There's going to be shad there. There's going to be fish there. Just put these spinners on. You can't really troll cranks because of all the weeds that we're talking about here. I think we've seen kind of that, but this is, I hope y'all know exactly what you need to have an awesome fall. That was my goal. I need to focus on fishing so that I do not starve, because I really planned on fish for lunch, and I do have some delicious ribs, but I had not planned to break into those just yet. And but it looks like I might be making ribs sooner than I expected, and maybe having it's a little sandwich for lunch. But anyways, like I said, the goal was to showcase everything you need to know about fall fishing here on Lake Sharpe. I hope I did just that. Be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate the heck out of it. If you didn't like this video, you don't believe me, say I don't know how to catch fish, that's acceptable. I totally get it. I really haven't known how to catch fish today. I've missed a lot. But totally understand. Drop a comment whether you like it or hate it. I'm all for it. I want to be better. I want to make these awesome for you guys. Follow on Instagram to see all the fish that I do catch, Mr. Walleye SD. And you can also find all our fishing reports, videos, articles, all that on Lip Ripper Fishing Facebook page. And be sure to check out my website too. I've been getting a ton of traffic this year, so I just want to thank you guys again. This has been really cool to hopefully give you guys some really good stuff. And if y'all like it, well, let me know, because I'm going to keep doing it if y'all like how this is going. Hey folks, so if you made it this far, one, appreciate the heck out of it. That means you're probably one of the best supporters I have. So take this as a thank you for that. I mean, it's been really cool to see the new subscribers. I think I doubled subscribers just in like 4 months. I mean, it's only like 1,000. Real YouTubers would probably scoff at me, but you know, I am working real hard at it to get better. Hopefully you've seen me, my editing skills increase a little bit. Still working on that. Obviously not a strong suit of mine. We try to leave that to my glowing personality. But no, for real, open to ideas, feedbacks, drop a comment, or shoot me a text, email, I mean, whatever, text preferred over email. I don't really look at that. Drop a comment too. I try to get back to all of those, so thank you for everybody that comments. But I mean, This one was, in the words of Dad, this one was very a fishing video as opposed to a catching video, but I kind of wanted it to be. Like, I didn't intend to suck at fishing as much as I did, but I really wanted to, man, it was more work than I want to admit, trying to get those graph shots, get all the scenery shots. It was kind of a pain, not gonna lie. I think I might, I think I might need another camera is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at that, but that's why I'm asking y'all. I mean, if you like this, if you like where this is going, I'll invest in it more, both in my skills, both in my equipment. Tell me what you want. I did this kind of in June, and I hope I kind of got to everyone what they said. Y'all gave me some really good feedback, so I appreciate that. Trying to showcase more of the mapping stuff and locations. I mean, this one I literally told you where to go, so trying to incorporate that. Talked baity here, just trying to showcase the baits I use. And this one, like I said, this one's different because it's like I was trying to talk about the bite that's gonna happen. And don't get me wrong, I've caught some fish down here this last month, but the bite always gets really good, usually about my birthday, September 10th. That's usually when this gets really good. So probably a week and a half early for like the fall fishing. But that was the goal, is to help prepare folks so that they have what they need to come out. Do you guys like that? Would you like me to kind of film like season primers? You want me to just stay on the hottest bites and then I'm gonna whack fish? Because I definitely could have done that in the Stilling Basin today. I figured there'd be a lot of boats in there, and I kind of wanted this down here to myself so I could showcase this. Because I mean, like I said, it was good last week, good at the start of the month. I kind of filmed it a little bit, but I mean, I really want to get in depth with it this time. So let me know what you guys think. If you're this far, you probably watched the Canada ones. If not, and you still made it this far, Canada ones are way more entertaining than this. So definitely, if this is your first one, go back, check those. Those are pretty fun. Some of the ones I did on Oahe, I'm kind of proud of too. But yeah, just want to say again, thank you. Open the feedback for what you guys think is going to be the, what you guys prefer. That's like trying to incorporate all of it, and trying to make good stuff that you all like and enjoy. I'm having fun with it. Today was a little bit more on the work side. Like, I'm gonna take a pretty vicious nap after this, not gonna lie. And it's 10:09, so I've worked pretty hard. So I am out of phone battery though. That's one other thing I need. If I'm gonna get into this, y'all, I'm gonna need some like real cameras, because phone nearly took a spill while we were filming the muskie video in Canada, and yeah, we just don't need that type of thing in our lives. That one was a little. That wasn't great. Kale was awesome for that, by the way. So Kale, if you're watching, you rock, dude. Jet and I learned how to live scope, so Jet's a heck of a live scoper. I'll throw that out there. Jet, I know you're still watching, and I know my grandpa's a big supporter. So just trying to hit as many diverse audiences as I can here. But again, thank you guys. Let me know what you think. Appreciate the heck out of the comments. Appreciate the heck out of the support, and good fishing.